It's a sweltering day in downtown Singapore, and with the equator less than 150 kilometres south of here, that's hardly a surprise. The temperature rarely drops below 25 degrees in this city-state, with a stifling humidity adding to the heat. Here in the heart of the central business district, it's a real concrete jungle. There are skyscrapers tightly packed together and busy roads filled with cars and buses. And the temperature here can be up to 7 degrees higher than out here in more green and rural parts of Singapore. Now, this difference in the temperature is called the urban heat island effect, and researchers are trying to find ways to combat it. Ander is a project manager at Cooling Singapore. They've been studying temperatures across the country to better understand how rapid urbanisation is affecting the extreme weather.
Buildings, surfaces, concrete, tarmac, all those trap heat during the day, so solar radiation during the day, and they tend to release heat during the night.
To try and mitigate this, researchers have put forward measures that can be used to cool downtown Singapore. They encourage greater use of greenery in the city, and one building that certainly does that is the Park Royal on Pickering Hotel. With its extensive vegetation and numerous sky gardens, this place certainly catches the eye. But the designers were also determined to tap into the environmental benefits of plants.
Vegetation, as it photosynthesizes, turns solar energy into chemical bonds, so it locks up that energy as something that isn't heat. So if we want to cool down our cities, we really have to use plants to do it.
Singapore is called the air-conditioned nation, and it's easy to see why. The island has more aircon units per capita than anywhere else in Southeast Asia. To counter this, some buildings are now relying on shared underground cooling networks, with chilled water pumped through pipes to provide cold air to a number of buildings at once. These modern solutions are being encouraged to try and counter the urban heat problem in Singapore. But the science being studied here could also be applied to other cities around the world.
We are also building a digital twin to represent those aspects of the city that affect urban heat. We call it the digital urban climate twin. So for sure, that could be applied in other cities.
Singapore's Prime Minister has called climate change a matter of life and death, with surrounding sea levels rising with the temperature. But this tiny tropical nation is using all of the tools at its disposal to try and beat the heat. Adam Hancock, TRT World, Singapore.